Rachel Reeves presented her spring statement with the enthusiasm of a chancellor aiming for an economic revival, despite the country's growth forecast being slashed to just 1%. Once seen as a leading candidate to succeed Sir Keir Starmer as Prime Minister, Ms. Reeves criticized the Conservative Party for their past shortcomings during their 14 years in power. She made no acknowledgement that her own decisions at the Treasury contributed to the significant downgrade in the growth prediction and the need for welfare cuts to avoid alarming financial markets by violating fiscal rules. Rather than being in a position to enjoy £9.9 billion in surplus funds, the Office for Budget Responsibility cautioned that she was heading towards a £4.1 billion deficit unless she altered her strategy. Since her arrival in office, what has transpired with economic growth and national finances? While Ms. Reeves cited increased global uncertainty as a factor, she did not indicate any personal accountability for undermining business and household confidence. Employers throughout Britain, ranging from small business owners to those in charity or care sectors, described the serious challenges posed by her abrupt rise in national insurance contributions. The looming reality of effectively taxing jobs is likely to have significant implications for hiring, pricing, and overall growth. For Labour MPs, listening to the Chancellor was a disheartening experience, especially as they now have to manage constituents' anger over cuts to the health portion of universal credit, alongside changes to disability support. Their offices are expected to be inundated with calls for assistance. Despite implementing changes that will directly affect some of Britain's most vulnerable populations, Labour refrained from labelling this an emergency budget, instead branding it merely as a spring statement. Anxiety is not limited to Labour backbenchers. Ministers working alongside her now face pressure to generate substantial budgetary savings, with civil servants potentially facing layoffs through voluntary exits. While signs of spring flourish around Westminster, Ms. Reeves's colleagues are bracing for a challenging season. However, the Chancellor showed no inclination to take responsibility for the nation's economic difficulties. Ms. Reeves contends that she is enacting necessary welfare reforms for an excessively costly system and stands firm in her commitment to maintaining stability. Yet, as employers struggle to remain profitable and consumers cope with rising prices, they will ultimately determine where the blame lies.